All right, so remember how you lost your first best mixed partner?
Yes.
I kind of had that feeling recently when a very good pickleball friend of mine got a dog. And now, I know. And we are both dog lovers. I mean, I have 2 of my own. You have yours. And every time we're recording in the studio, the dogs are there, right?
Yeah.
And we love having them around. But it's kind of like losing a pickleball buddy, you know, because every time I would call her to go play, she would be there. She was ready. And now, because of her puppy, she's not around anymore as much as I would like her to be. And it makes me kind of... Am I selfish?
Okay.
Isn't that so selfish of me?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like when people get married and have kids and they're pickleball, just like, so I get it. I understand. I understand.
And even you looking for your new mixed partner, you're kind of thinking about his age, when he's going to be dating again, you know? Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now, you know?
Well, I know who you're talking about, and I can't wait to meet this puppy. Hopefully they'll be at the pickleball courts and get involved in pickleball.
I guess that would be a good thing.
But I'm sorry that you lost your pickleball friend.
Well, she's not gone, but it's like being a new mom. You know, she doesn't really have time. And she came out the other day with like, you know, like it's almost like vomit on her shirt from like baby spit up, you know, but it was her puppy. So it was very funny. But yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we're on location today, which is super exciting. As always, we are here at Paddles Up and Paddle, or Paddle, as people say.
It's debatable.
It's debatable. We think it's Paddle, but we don't want to upset anyone, so we're just going to say Paddle and Paddle, both at the same time, always. But we're in this new location in East Setauket, and we have a tournament here next Sunday.
Yes.
So we wanted to record here, get familiar with the space. Really as a selfish reason, because I think when you go into tournaments and you don't know the space, not only now are you like have so much stuff with, well, no, I'm saying like you have so much like anxieties about the tournament, but the space, you're like constantly looking around, trying to like, you're like observing, right? And I feel like now that we're in this space, we understand like the layout, where the bathrooms are.
It's very funny that you said that, because it's almost like we did a recon, you know, job, because I was talking to another one of our friends yesterday, and I told her the layout. Because we're in the tournament together, and I thought it might be helpful for her to know, you know?
It's good. It's good. You don't want to be like overwhelmed by so much newness in one go.
Right.
So we're super excited to be here and be recording here. So we're going to talk about, I guess it's going to be a little therapeutic today. We're going to talk about imposter syndrome.
Hence my shirt, my Halloween shirt, because it's kind of like you're in a costume almost. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Well, you're trying to like
cover up
who you are.
Yeah.
So this came about because at work, we decided to have a round table about imposter syndrome. And as all my colleagues are sitting around and they're talking about the way imposter syndrome has affected their careers, which we'll get into a little bit, I couldn't help but think about pickleball. Like my brain, I mean, granted, I'm always thinking about pickleball. I know, I'm always thinking about pickleball, but I really couldn't stop thinking about like how much imposter syndrome affects us as athletes. And I called you. I was like, I spoke about you at work today, and you were like, oh, God.
What is it now?
And so I just want to read, do you have the definition of imposter syndrome?
Yeah, right there it is.
All right. So imposter syndrome is a psychological mindset that causes people to doubt their skills or feeling inadequate. And this isn't the full definition, but this happens and you contribute so much of your success to luck. And it was the luck part that really stuck with me. And that's why I called you. And that's why I brought you up in the meeting, because you will hit a shot.
Well, I didn't know that you talked about me at the meeting. I thought you just thought about me.
No, I definitely was like,
oh, great.
Yeah, I definitely brought you up. And you will make a shot and it'll be like a great drip, or it'll hit the net cord and go over. And you say, sorry, that was lucky. And it kills me every time.
I know.
Every time a little tiny piece of my soul gets broken off and put into the sky when you say that. And it's same thing the other way around. It doesn't just have to be our shot being lucky. If they hit a shot
and it goes into the net,
right, or whatever it is, that was luck.
Yeah, like I always say, we got lucky there.
Yes,
we
got lucky.
Right,
that. They go for an overhead and put it into the net, right?
Right.
We got lucky.
Yes.
It's imposter syndrome.
Yes. You know what? The word that stuck with me with that definition was the word self-doubt. 2 words, I guess, because I think that's where it comes from. Right. Doubting yourself, doubting your ability. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like that commercial when you sent me the definition of imposter syndrome. Yeah. You know, it's like when you're watching a commercial and they're like, do you lose sleep? And you're like, yes. Do you feel anxious? Yes. I was answering yes to all of those questions or all of those traits that you sent me. Right. And it's so true. Yeah. You know, I guess I have imposter syndrome.
I think we all do. I think we all,
to some extent.
I think we all do to some extent.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the people that don't have imposter syndrome and our feelings on that.
Right.
But, you know, so imposter syndrome is just like a little backstory. Well, not backstory. It's a little history about imposter syndrome. I love this. This term got coined in the 1970s when women started entering the workplace, right? Which makes sense. Yes. Right? Like all these women started experiencing all of these anxieties, headaches, feelings, thoughts, whatever it was. And so I think women are more prone to it. But in 2024, they did a study about where imposter syndrome was most prevalent in the workplace and like careers. And
I love that because you say you don't read anything. You actually read this time.
This is if my coworkers are watching,
I love it.
This is because of them. The highest percentage of workplace that experiences imposter syndrome is creatives. And I, as being a creative person, know this from a young age. And I think, and I don't think that they, that athletes were part of this study, but I do believe that athletes and creatives are 2 fields that experience imposter syndrome so much because it's dependent on you and your abilities and what you're putting out into the world, right? Like I think so many careers like finance and stuff experience it and they're doubting their skills, but when you have something that's so open-ended, I think it seeps in that much more.
You know what? It's so maybe almost ironic because I'm thinking when I look at an athlete, I always think about how amazing they are. But yet they probably experience these emotions on the inside, you know? And it's incredible because you watch people on stage, creative people, and you're thinking, wow, they're amazing to be able to get up in front of people and do what they do. But behind the scenes, not quite so confident, I suppose. You do have to put out some sort of product, you know?
And that was the thing that we were talking about at work and what transfers so well to pickleball. It's at every single level. You're talking 2.5, you're talking 5.0. Imposter syndrome exists and is there. So that's why we want to talk about it.
So you were talking about earlier how it goes back to kind of, I guess you said something maybe to the extent of your childhood. Did you just mention that?
Yeah, so let's take like a musician, for example, right? Like this is something, music, art, is something you like feel within, right? Like it's something that you can be creative and express yourself. But in school, all of a sudden you hit a wrong note and it's like, nope, that's wrong, right? And you start being critiqued and judged on every little thing and being, and that's where like perfectionism starts coming in.
And that's where they say it stems from too, wanting to be a perfectionist.
And what I think is so amazing is these artists and musicians that they're not the only ones that are successful, but the ones that break the rules, the ones that all of a sudden are taking jazz and doing something different with it, these are the ones that are making waves, right?
See, I was going to say it could go either way. Like when you're being constantly critiqued, it can light a fuel or a fire under you, or it can crush you. You know, and I think for us, it probably does the latter, where we're kind of constantly critiquing ourselves and going towards the negative side rather than stepping up. And making things happen, you know?
I think that, so for me, I can remember one instance in particular, walking into a tournament and seeing these, it was probably the next level up, right? But like when you walk into a tournament and everyone's warming up, you don't really know who's playing in what bracket. Their warm up was so precise and they were so muscular and so big and like, I was just like, oh my God, I don't belong here. Like, I don't belong here. And that's imposter syndrome, right?
But what did it do for you? After we came back from Dallas and you saw some people who were so physically fit and you were intimidated by them, I think it was like right after we returned from that trip, you started this whole new workout routine and you stuck with it and still sticking with it and doing so great. So, I mean, in that way, it inspired you.
But I think when you walk into any room, right, you should feel as though you belong. You should feel as though you deserve to be in that room.
Right. But when you're walking into a new place that you're not expecting, I feel like it is kind of normal to feel unfamiliar, but at the same time, some people we did talk about like the opposite of somebody with imposter syndrome is somebody who is like a narcissist who would walk into a room and own it and kind of think that they are better than everyone else, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's more about like, they say that people with imposter syndrome are highly emotionally intelligent, right? Like you feel this. Whereas people that don't experience imposter syndrome tend to lean a little bit more into the narcissistic side because it's like, no, I'm the best. I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
I do that sarcastically on the inside. And I think that's the other thing, right? Like there's people that present as if they are.
Right.
And that's the difference. They might be experiencing imposter syndrome, but covering it up.
Right.
Whereas I think there are the people who really are not experiencing imposter syndrome really think that they're just the best at everything and you know, and that's that.
What I can say about me is, I'm glad that there's a name to it now that I know what it's called now, but I think that it goes back to being younger, like back in school, not really playing any sport competitively, like for a team or for the school or anything. I mean, I was a tomboy. I was very active. I tried to play whatever I could, but nothing competitively.
Right.
So when I go into a tournament and I know somebody has, trained professionally for like a gymnastics, or they have performed or was on the swim team and, competed in front of lots of people, I'm up against people who have been trained. I was never really trained. So I think that's where my lack of confidence comes from. And so when I do make a good shot in pickleball, I'm always like, oh, they messed up and I got lucky.
Well, the one thing that you more than me, but both of us don't do is, and this is one way to kind of combat, which we'll talk about, imposter syndrome. We don't take stock in our successes, right? We don't celebrate our successes. We will win, we will medal, we'll get off the court, and you'll turn to me and be like, they were having a bad day.
Yeah. Sometimes I really believe it though.
But but you're not giving yourself credit for going out there and playing really, really well.
But you don't agree with me that maybe, our opponents who I know are really good players were not having a good playing day. And I truly, truly believe that.
But why aren't you having a really good, you don't do that, right? You give them the credit. You give them the excuse.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I have imposter syndrome.
You 100% have imposter right here.
Who else suffers from this?
You know, the other thing, right? Like, okay, duper's like a whole ball game. And most of the time your duper is lower. No, that's not true. But if your duper is higher than you think it's supposed to be, you make excuses.
Yes.
It says I'm this, I'm not that, blah, blah, blah.
I have been asked what my duper is, and I will tell people what the duper is, and I will say, but trust me, it's much lower than that.
Like that's imposter syndrome.
I know.
Just own it. Own your success. So when we get on the court, we have to understand that we have taken lessons. We've put in the time. I have a sticker from Mission Sticks that literally says, I've trained for this.
Right.
I love that sticker because it makes me look down and be like,
I did train for this. Yes.
I deserve to be here.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So you're overcoming imposter syndrome.
I'm trying.
So later on, maybe you can share how we can turn this around.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think when you're suffering from imposter syndrome in career, in pickleball, you try to avoid success, right? You try to like tiptoe around the fact that like, I don't deserve that success.
Right.
And which is why I think, and again, I'm pointing I'm pointing at you, which is why I think you don't want to get into higher level games. I think you're afraid of success. I think you're afraid of showing up, owning it, doing well. I think we tend to sabotage ourselves.
Right. You know what? I think that when you talked about not belonging earlier, I truly believe that I don't belong there yet.
But that's crazy.
But I mean, I said yet as in I have to try to earn my spot. And that's how I think of things. Like I need to get through all of my checklist things before I can get to that point and earn my spot in that level at that competition.
All right, we're not gonna man bash here because we do that sometimes on episodes. But think about the women in the 1970s. These men are not earning their spots. They literally are just going out there and being like, I deserve this, give it to me.
Right.
Right? And that's the thing.
Right.
Show up and be like, I deserve this, give it to me.
Okay.
You don't need to earn, you don't need to win gold at every single level. This isn't a video game, you know? It's not like.
But it is also a skill-based thing, you know?
Sure, but we have the skills, right? Okay, the other day in rec play, I was playing, oh, so good. And I turned to you.
That's not imposter syndrome, by the way.
That's narcissism. That's narcissism. I was playing so well, and we were on the same side, and I turned to you and I said, I don't play like this in tournaments. And I was frustrated because I was playing so well. And you said, because you're relaxed right now. It's a mindset thing, which we're going to do a whole episode on.
Right.
It's a mindset thing.
I know.
So when you say it's skill-based,
it is.
Yes, there are, of course, always some techniques and skills
and consistency that we have to practice,
of course.
You know?
But it's the balancing act of skills and mindset, right?
Right. So, you know, as we're going into the tournament next week, sometimes, I mean, we signed up for 4.0 plus, but the truth is I'm doing it kind of hesitantly.
This is crazy.
I know, but we're entering a higher level tournament.
We're not. Why is this? Why? I can't even get the words out. I'm so upset.
You're so upset.
Why does it not matter? Tell me. Why? Look at me. Don't look at the camera. Why does it not matter next week? Why does it not matter next week?
What do you mean? Why does it not matter?
That it's 4.0 plus. Why does it not matter?
Why does it not matter?
Why should you not be nervous that it's 4.0 plus?
Because it doesn't matter if we don't win?
No. Because it's literally the same people that we play with all the time. That's what I mean. Like, because it's a local tournament.
Right.
Okay, you put so much value on the 4.0 plus. I'm gonna have the hosts rename it to a 6.0 plus tournament.
And I'll stay home.
But it's gonna be all the same people.
Right.
And Dew will be even more nervous.
Of course. Because what the ratings don't matter anymore? You're gonna
not when we know that it's all the same people that we play with day in and day out.
You're right. I know, but it's imposter syndrome.
Hear that? Did you hear that? She said I was right.
I said I know.
No, you said you're right. It is imposter syndrome. If we talk about ways to combat it, right?
Right.
I think that it's so important to take stock in the positive compliments that people give you and ride those highs. Right. I think imposter syndrome creeps in a lot when you hear something negative about your playing. You talk a lot about when you first started to play and you would go to the parks, right? And the way that people reacted. Once you hear that negativity, like go home and come back when you're better, that's when imposter syndrome starts to creep in, right? You have a bad experience from one person. Don't let don't let negative things that people say affect you, right? Maybe it lights that fire, but I think it's important to take stock in the positive things because your mind hears those things, right? Your body reacts to those things. At work, one of my colleagues was saying, and I think this is just such a good way to combat it. She saves. When people compliment her on like, great event, oh my God, you guys were so successful, she saves them in a separate folder. Oh. So if she's having a bad day at work, she'll go back and read those. Right. I think we need to build ourselves up more.
And it's so true. Why do we dwell on the negativity more than the positivity? And I guess it goes back to us, the self-doubt, you know, constantly thinking maybe they're just being nice, or
Yeah.
maybe it's just something they say to everyone.
And granted, we're going to get into games where the other team is better than us, right?
Right.
That's not what we're
Right.
saying. We're not saying, you know, you have a positive mindset and you win every game. Granted, there is going to be some
Right.
tie-in to that,
Right.
but no, there's going to be players that are better than us.
But there are times when I have played against better people, and we've had really good points. And you know you've had really good
Yeah.
points, even though you don't win against
Yeah.
them. But we put up a fight, and you gave them some sort of a challenge, and you kind of rattled them a little bit. I do feel good about that.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
and like in a positive way.
Yeah.
Not in a way where, yeah, you stink and we're able
Yeah.
to, you know, get points off of you, but more because we were able to challenge these better players.
Yeah.
So I do have those moments.
And I think we try to remember those games.
Right.
Like, remember the fourth game of this
Yeah.
tournament? Let's go in and play
you know
like
what the
that.
thing with playing pickleball is that you have good days and you have
Of
bad
course.
days.
Of course.
And sometimes it's like, and it goes back to being consistent, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a consistent player, but because of the mindset issue,
Yeah.
it messes with your playing
Yeah.
and preventing me personally from being consistent.
I wanna go back to something that you said about, like, if you're gonna, like, take stock in the positive instead of the negative. It's so true, right? Like, if you're gonna let your mind spiral into all the negative things that can possibly happen,
Yeah.
why not let your mind spiral upwards? all
Because
the positive.
our minds don't work that way.
It was a rhetorical question. You're not supposed to answer.
Our minds don't work that way.
No, but
Oh,
like,
you're
if
trying to uplift people, yes. And I,
like exactly. This is the dynamic.
what is that
This is-
Disney movie? The one with all the emotions,
Yeah,
and I'm the one that's like,
yeah.
no, you got to be negative.
But no, if you're gonna say we're gonna lose every game, we're gonna go home losers, whatever.
Right.
Why not switch that? We're gonna go out. We're gonna
win
play our
every
best.
game.
We're gonna win every game. If we don't, we're gonna try our best. We're gonna walk out of here with our
Yeah.
heads. If you're gonna go down, go up.
Yeah.
Do the same. Balance it out. There's no reason why you should just stay negative.
And I'm going to start collecting positive comments
I love that. I think
and
you should.
putting them somewhere, and I'll pull them out.
I think you should. I
Yes.
know you're being sarcastic right now because I can tell by the sound of her voice, and she won't do it.
I will.
But
I will.
I think you should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So in pickleball, I
Yeah.
think it's so easy to read distress
Right.
or whatever. You miss a shot, your whole body slumps, your
Right.
shoulders slump. But I think it's true. Like, if you can just smile, if you can
Right.
hold your head up high,
Yeah.
your playing is gonna
Yeah.
be determined by that, right?
Right.
The second you're like, but, you know, and
Yeah.
granted, I am not saying I'm an expert in this.
Right.
I obviously have negative reactions,
Right.
but I wonder if we can try that as well.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
always believe in being positive, but I also believe in knowing your mistakes so that you can learn to fix them. And sometimes, yeah, we're hard on ourselves,
Yeah.
but I'm also a realist where I'm not going to smile through something if I'm not happy with
You should.
my performance.
But you should,
know?
because then you'll start performing better.
I mean, it's something to think
Yeah.
about. It's definitely valid. I
Yeah.
love all of the background history, and you know, the studies have been done, and I think that it's only going to make you better if you can
Yeah.
try to stay on the positive side. You
Yeah.
know,
I'll end by saying imposter syndrome is something that's going to come in and out of your life constantly.
Right.
It's not something that you combat once and you're like, cured. I no
You
longer have it.
are not alone.
Yeah.
In this.
This has turned into a public service
No, but
announcement.
it definitely is. I mean, it
No,
has
you're
helped
not
me.
alone. So
No.
many people experience it. I mean, I'd love to
Right.
hear from people that are listening and watching about their imposter
Yeah.
syndrome experiences. It's a real thing. Everyone goes through it.